Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Imagine Dignity podcast. Well, hey, everybody. Terrence here. Right now, I'm sitting with my friend and special guest. You want to tell everybody your name?
Robert Cecil Allen III.
Robert Cecil Allen III. Right now, we're in the city, and behind us is your dwelling. Do people ever mess with you out here?
No, they respect my privacy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen other people who may be unhoused, like, get talked down to, or?
Yeah.
In what ways?
On daily. You're dirty, you stink, all kinds of stuff they be saying, but it's how you basically put yourself that people perceive you. If you perceive yourself as homeless, you're gonna be homeless.
You make an interesting point, because a lot of times when I go out and I'm talking to people trying to build compassion towards those who may be without an address, I always say that home itself is greater than four walls. Home is about how you are accepted, how you belong in the community, and included. And you said something really profound, that home is just not, what another person may think about you, but it's how you actually perceive yourself.
Yeah. If you let yourself get to that point where you say, okay, well, I'm homeless, you're gonna be completely shut down. You ain't gonna wanna clean yourself, you ain't gonna wanna do nothing to yourself. But if you put yourself to say, okay, well, I'm homeless, but my mind is not homeless, you'll never be homeless.
I'm homeless, but my mind is not homeless. Can you break that down for me?
Meaning, you still got your perspectives of shaving, keeping yourself up, smelling all right, and not letting yourself go completely AWOL.
Right. Do you think it's also about, like, self-respect, self-dignity, self-worth? That's what you're talking about. Like, you don't lose your sense of worthiness.
How you was raised.
How you were raised. How were you raised?
I was still raised by a foster mother, but I was raised to keep myself up no matter what.
You were raised by a foster mother?
Yes.
Did you grow up in the foster care system?
Yes. Till I was 29.
Until you were 29? Wow. What was the earliest age that you actually went into the foster care system?
When I was 6.
6 years old? Do you remember it? What do you remember about it?
My biological mother saying that she didn't want us around, and I remember the foster mother bringing me to her on Christmas Day, stuff like that.
Wow.
To a point where my biological mother just now decided she wants to come back into my life.
Like right now?
Like right now.
Wow. And that's a long time, from 6 years old to
49.
For 49. Do you remember the emotions that you had when you were being taken away?
I was hurt that I was being taken away, but at the same time, I was trying to get back to mother. But when mother told me she didn't want me around, and if she told my foster mother that if we ever came around, she was gonna call the police, I started shunning her.
Wow. Do you ever question why she would, like?
Yeah, to this day, I still do it. What was going through your mind when you let us go? Why didn't you fight for us? She had 3 more after she had us.
Yeah. And
let us go, which I'm trying to figure. She raised them. So it's a little jealousy there. So I really don't try to see her too much.
I'm sorry, man.
Because I can't really see her as mother. I can see her as mom, but I can't see her as mother.
Right. You respect the fact that
she had me. That
she had you biologically.
Because she could have flushed or had an abortion, whatever. But I can't respect you as mother based on the fact that you didn't step in and say, I'm gonna be a mother to this young man.
How did that impact your life growing up?
See, I ended up having 3 foster mothers, but the last one I had was just like a real mother.
Oh, wow.
Because she didn't take the responsibility of saying, oh, I'm getting a $116 check, that's all y'all getting. She took me to Disney World every year, she took to Busch Gardens every year, and I went to Nassau every year. So there was no year that I didn't enjoy myself.
Right.
Every birthday I would be the first day of school, but it turned around, I would have a party right behind it.
Right.
So
she really, like,
stepped
in and became
mother.
Your mother. Is she still alive?
No, she passed in 2009.
You talk about your foster mom, this one that was just really impactful to your life. What kind of values did she teach you?
Know yourself, trust in yourself, and trust in the Lord. And everything else will come around. That's basically why I can stay in here and not shatter myself.
What do you miss most about her?
Her, just her, being there.
If she was here right now, well, you know she's here in spirit, but what do you think she would tell you?
The fight to get back like I was supposed to be. Get back into society.
To get back. It sounds like that conversation that she would have with you will be one of uplifting you, reminding you that you're still, worth it, and to get your head back together. So you don't do drugs.
No. Don't drink.
Or drink. And most times people will say, maybe they're unhoused or experiencing homelessness because they do drugs or addicted to alcohol. What would you say to a person who thinks that?
They're wrong. It's not the alcohol that gets you out here. What gets you out here is your well-being of where you're at.
Yeah, and that's different for anybody.
I feel like my progress, is still coming.
It is coming. What are your dreams and goals right now?
My main factor is to get off these streets.
What do you need help with to get off the streets?
Just a job, actually. Once I get a job, I'm back off these streets.
But you actually genuinely want to work?
Yeah, I was actually finna get hired on to the warehouse on Foot Industrial.
Do you have ID?
Yes. Social. ID, birth certificate.
Yeah. What do you think you need most right now in this moment to take that step?
Just a job to look at. Because my credentials stand for itself. I worked at Walmart, worked at Targets. I done worked at BJ's. I done worked at P&G's, all different kinds of warehouses.
So you got work history. Let me ask you, on a day-to-day, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? How do you make it through the day?
First thing I do is wake up, check my phone, see if my probation officer called. Next thing, brush my teeth, get ready, and I go to the library. Go downtown and see things that I can get online.
Yeah.
Right? Check on jobs and talk to family.
Yeah.
Right? This before I got my phone.
Yeah.
Right? Because they wouldn't let me get my phone until my food stamps came in.
Okay.
Right? So once I got the phone, I could talk to the family here and there. The sisters, I don't really try to talk to my mom. Get online, keep my mind motivated to stay in there for a while.
Do you read?
Yeah. Read books. I try to just keep myself busy all day.
And keeping yourself busy, that's what actually helps you to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riding the bike around.
Yeah. Who gave you the bike?
Sopo bikes.
Sopo bikes. Okay.
Yeah. I used to volunteer with them.
You volunteered too?
They made me a manager over there, so I used to volunteer. So they seen me walking down in Woodrow Park, so they were like, "Why are you walking?"
Yeah. And they gave you a bike.
They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you a bike."
And you call it Sopo?
Yes. It's
well, shout out to Sopo.
It's SOPO.
SOPO. Okay.
And
well, let me ask you this. It looks like it's overcast and it might rain. How do you survive when it starts to rain and pour down? Because I see you have plastic and stuff. And
well, that's why I be downtown all day. When it rains, I mostly be gone.
Okay.
But when I leave here, I try to stay gone until nighttime.
Okay.
Just because, you don't want too many people seeing where you be.
When you think about people who have misperceptions or try to look down on people who don't have an address or who may live in an encampment, what would you want those people to know?
That they only one check away from being in the same predicament. Because it only take one time for you to fall and then you're going to fall backwards. And it's a hard fall.
Yeah.
But it's harder to come up from that fall.
Yeah. What else would you say?
Try to motivate those who are below you.
Yeah. Man, you're going to be on my podcast. It's called the Imagine Dignity Podcast. Okay. And one of the things that we're trying to do is show people the other side of the experience and how much wisdom and worth and value people actually have, because sometimes it's easier to judge people from a distance.
Yeah.
Instead of getting proximate to them and really affirming their worth and value and their dignity. Yeah. And I just believe that we need to do whatever we can, however we can, to solve the issue and actually walk with people out of homelessness instead of looking down on people.
See, because I got kicked out of 3 soup lines downtown.
You got kicked out of 3 soup lines?
Yeah, because I didn't look homeless.
What is looking homeless?
That's what I was like. That's what I was like. They had the bowl, they had them fixed it.
Yeah.
I was like, can I get it? They like, this is for the homeless. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking around like, did somebody tell me I'm not homeless? And they was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm homeless.
Yeah. Why
Right.
do people think like that, though?
Because they got a perception of the homeless. See, I ain't trying to be homeless, so that's why it's not in my mind.
Are you saying that people don't think that a person who is unhoused would keep themselves up?
Yeah.
That has to change. Let me ask you, man, what's the most important thing you need right now today? I know you said a job, like right now in this moment.
Housing.
Housing. Why is housing important?
It's important to me based on the fact that that's part of the perception that people are looking at you at. Oh, well, he ain't got housing, he can't really do too much.
Right.
But what they really don't know, I graduated high school. A lot of people out here graduated high school. But the homes probably drove them out here.
Any little thing can actually cause you to end up on the streets.
Right. Just even work can cause you to get to the streets.
Yeah.
Because your stress level goes so high.
Well, man, we want to, advocate and make sure that you actually get a job. You mind if I get your number?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to be checking on you to make sure that you actually follow through and get a job, because we understand that a job will give you the kind of stability that you need to access housing and do the other things that you're dreaming about. The other thing is that people don't really think about is when you're actually applying for a job and you don't have an address, you actually need an address to verify for employment opportunities and things like that. We're gonna be checking up on you, man, and we're gonna get you shoes, we're gonna get coats, we're gonna get you out those boots, right? And we're gonna make sure that we walk with you until you get a job, bro. Is there anything you wanna say to people?
Just keep your head up and push forward. Always keep God first.
Push forward. I appreciate it, man. You say keep God first.
Yep.
Why is that important?
Because if he's first, he gonna lead you through all your steps. He said you take one step, he'll take 2 and 3.
That's right. Thank you for being the encouragement.
Anytime.
Hey everybody, I just got finished interviewing another special guest, Robert Allen III, and I got a chance to talk to him about the foster care system as it relates to homelessness and how that actually impacts a child that becomes an adult as they matriculate through, and how the disconnection of actual family impacts, a child, and it follows them into their adulthood. Also got a chance to talk to him about the morals and the values that his foster mom instilled in him, and how that actually has forged the resilience that he has on the inside of him. He talked about how he survives day to day, actually living in a small encampment on the actual railroad tracks, or by the railroad tracks. I was really encouraged just to talk to him. He was so open with me. We're gonna do all that we can to make sure that he continues to fill out job applications and make those types of connections, because he actually wants to get back in the workforce. And what greater way to transition out of homelessness than to have access to an address, like a facility that will allow you to use their address so you can get employment, and then start that employment process so you can find stability. You have been watching the Imagine Dignity podcast, and it's been so life-changing for me just to be in the elements, not in a comfortable studio, not behind, expensive microphones or with people who have a lot of influence, but just being with the people. That's where my heart is. I love being proximate to people. I love creating a safe space where people can share their stories and humanize themselves in the face of stigma. And I just love this work. And if you are wanting to partner with me in any way as I continue to go out and build these relationships with people or my special guests on this podcast, feel free to reach out, and let's do this great work by changing individual lives. Most people say, well, we need to solve the entire, plight of homelessness. And I think that's true. But we also need to make sure we're working to change and transform the lives of everyday people, like one-on-one relationships. That's what we've been about. That's what I'm about. And the organization I get a chance to serve with, Love Beyond Walls, that's the mission. I'm just so grateful to do this work. Peace.